Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for being here. So today I'm going to show you how I set up my bullet journal for January, and the theme I choose for this month is actually sort of a deer theme or forest theme. So for the front page I choose to draw this big deer with the antlers surrounding the January title. And as you could see earlier, I started off by sketching out the deer with my pencil, and then now I've just drawn it all out with my Pit Artist pens in the size extra small, as you can see here on the close-up pictures. Now I'm just going to color in the deer and the antlers with my Crayola Supertips. And I basically just took all of the brown colors I could find and then just started coloring it all in. I'm starting up with a lighter color and then I'm going in with the darker as I go. And actually I was also just using this pen for just drawing the lighter colors, because the markers can get pretty dark when you draw it, and I also wanted some light elements in my deer. To color in these antlers, I just started up with a light color, and then as I went along I just built it up with darker and darker colors. As you can see, I'm sort of drawing strokes all the way up through the antlers just to make them as realistic as possible. And here I'm basically just going with the dark marker just to give the deer some dimension. When I colored in these antlers, I left the ends blank because on all of the reference photos I found on the internet, the ends were lighter than the rest, so I'm going in with my pencil once again and just drawing that in. And now I'm going in with my Pit Artist pen again in the size extra small just to create some small details. And for the title I just went in with a basic calligraphy font, and here I used my Tombow fudenoske pen with a hard tip to draw that in. And this is how the front page turned out. I really like the look with all of the colors and the details and how these antlers just sort of surrounded the title, so I'm very happy with the outcome. So moving on to the next page, I'm going to set up my monthly overview for January. So I'm just starting off by writing the title with a pencil, and then I'm going back into my future log to see how many days we have here in January. And it was 31, so I'm just starting off by writing every single number down the middle of the page. And then on the left side I also wrote all of the first letters of the days. And this monthly overview I'm dividing up into two sections. I have my school overview and my personal. So the school side is for whenever I have an exam or a test or an assignment due, and the personal side is more for events or if I have to do stuff with my family or my work or something like that. Now on the bottom of the page I'm just drawing these cute little tiny deers with trees and grass and just creating this sort of forest setup down here. And I'm also coloring these in with my Crayola Supertips. And for the white dots on the deers I just used a white marker. And remember, I will always link the supplies I used down in the description box, so you can always find them down there if you are in doubt what I use. Moving on to the next page, I'm going to set up my habit and mood tracker for the month. And for this I'm sort of drawing these borders of antlers. I just started out by drawing them out in pencil just where I wanted it to be, so now I can draw in this sort of table for the habit tracker. So I've drawn in all of the dates and now I'm just drawing in the different icons that I want to track throughout the month. As you can see, I want to track how often I train, how often I drink 2 liters of water, whenever I go outside for more than 30 minutes, have 3 meals a day, when I drink alcohol, when I clean my room, and when I post on Instagram. So for the mood tracker, I'm just drawing in these tiny little smileys for indicating how happy I am on that specific day. And I'm just using the same numbers as from the habit tracker to indicate what day I am, what mood. And as you can see here, I'm just now coloring in the antlers around the page with my Pit Artist pens, again in the size extra small. After that, I'm just erasing the pencil from when I drew them out, and then I'm just starting to color them in just the same technique as I used for the front page. So starting off with the lighter color and then just going in with the darker color as I go to create more dimension. And to really make these antlers stand out, I just drew this drop shadow with the Pit Artist pen in size small. And here you can see the result of this border with these antlers. I really liked how this turned out, and I think it framed the page pretty well. So now moving on to the next page, I'm going to set up my weekly spread. So I actually got a lot of inspiration here from Ali Frey. I will link her YouTube channel down below. And I started off by writing Jan for, of course, January, and then writing 1 to 7 for the first week of January. And underneath that, I just made these sort of antler border, but I really didn't like how this turned out, so I'm sure that the next couple of weeks I will not do the same thing. Underneath that, I just wrote my sleep tracker and my to-do list for the whole week. And now I'm just starting to draw these cute little acorns that are going to be my background for the number of each day, you know, the date itself. You can see that later. I'm just coloring them in with my Crayola Supertips and then just outlining them and adding some detail with, again, the Pit Artist pen in size extra small. And now I'm also just coloring in this border. So as you can see here, I'm just taking a white marker and drawing out these numbers and taking my Pit Artist pen in size small and writing each day. I'm also just going to write these small cubes for each task that I'm going to do each day, and on the bottom of the page I of course need to also do the same thing for Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So again, I'm just drawing out these acorns with my pencil, coloring them in, and then just adding some details and outlining them with my Pit Artist pen in extra small. And on this clip you can really see how I do this outline and adding the small details to each acorn. Now I'm just going in, touching up the white of the numbers and just starting to write the number on the new tiny acorns. To really make the numbers stand out, I'm adding this drop shadow, and then I'm also down here of course writing each day down. And again, just going in, touching up, and as well as I did before, drawing in these tiny little cubes for the task I have to do the day. And of course down here I'm also adding the drop shadow to make it match with the other numbers I did earlier. And it was at this point that I figured out that I forgot to write the title of the habit and mood tracker, and I'm really sorry for the bad handwriting here. But now moving on to my journaling section, and if you don't know what this is, you should definitely watch my bullet journal set up for 2018. Here I will explain what these different sort of dividers is in my bullet journal. So I'm starting off by writing the month and then doing 31 numbers, of course, for each day. And I give the each number 2 dots so I can write 2 lines for every day. And the concept of this is basically to track every day what I do, the highlights of the day, and then on the bottom here of the page I am doing this highlight section for the greatest highlights of the month. So here is the final flip through of my January setup. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.